right, guys, in this video, we are going to correct your pages 123 to 124. So make sure you've done the assignment first. And you were supposed to do numbers 14 through 29. We're not going to go over every single one of them, but I will read the answers for every single one so you can check yourself. So number 14, first of all, on this section, we are really looking for reasonableness. So that is another way of saying estimate your answers. There are times that I don't estimate. I just do the actual math and then I estimate my answer. Or if I had options A, B, C, D, I might do the actual math and find the answer that's closest. But for this math, it's okay to do it the way I'm about to show you. So let's look at number 14. A gallon of water weighs 8.354 pounds. Okay, so 1 gallon of water weighs that many pounds. Simon is using 11.81 gallons while taking a shower. So how many pounds of water did Simon use? So if it's this many pounds per gallon, that word per tells me I'm multiplying. So what I get to do, because I'm asked for about how many, is I'm going to make this 11.8 about 12. And the 8.3 about 8, because if this was a 5, I would go up. If it was a 4, I'd go down. That's the rule for rounding. So 12 times 8, 16, 8, 9. So about 96 pounds. Now, you can write the word about or this symbol right here, like a squiggly looking equal sign. That means about. So about 96 pounds. Okay, let's look at number 15. So number 15 says that a snail moves at the pace of 2.394 inches per minute. So this word per already tells me they're probably going to give me the minutes and I'm probably going to be multiplying. Okay, so per minute means multiply by the minute. All right, so now I need to know how many minutes. So the snail is traveling 7.489 minutes. And I want to know if he continues at this rate, or I guess it could be a she, continues at this rate, how far will it travel? So I'm going to do just what I did last time. 2.3, because this is a 4 and below, should go to a 2. 7.4. Now, here's what's tricky. This number technically makes this turn into a 5. And once that's a 5, I'm going to move up to 8. Okay, but if I'm working with just this number, we would keep it at a 7. So I really think either way would be a pretty decent estimate. So 7 times 2 is about 14 inches. Now, I really want to be a stickler on this. If you're going to estimate, you better put the word about or you better use this symbol. If you just write 14 inches, it's definitely wrong because we estimated. If you estimate and you say about, I'm going to take a whole bunch of different answers. But if you tell me it's exactly 14 inches, I'm going to mark it wrong because it's not. Okay, so really practice using this symbol or just writing out the word about. All right, let's look at number 16. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to give you a little heads up. Your quiz question for this next week is going to be on one of these first couple problems. So make sure that you're really reviewing it. And if you're not understanding it, you watch the video a second time or maybe you email me. Okay, so a little heads up. You only got it because you were watching the video. All right, number 16. Trisha's garden is 9.87 meters, let's see, long and 1.09 meters wide. And I'm guessing they're going to ask me for area perimeter. Usually once they start giving me length and width, that's where I'm going. And they ask me for the area. So we know area is length times width. And we can make 9.8 a 10, 1.0 a 1, 10 times 1 is about 10. And let's go back to the problem and make sure that we have our units, meters, and it's squared because we're dealing with area. Okay, so remember that, it's squared because we're dealing with area. We multiplied two things, so you have the 2 there to represent something times itself. Okay? All right, let's look at number 17. So on 17, we have a chart that we're going to use for really 17 through 20. Okay, so you have to be looking at the chart while we are going over this. So if you need to, get it in front of you, please. So I'm looking at the chart above number 17 on page 123. So Kaylin and Amanda both work at the same store. The table shows how much each person earns and the number of hours each person works in a week. So we're going to estimate how much Kaylin earns in 1 week. So Kaylin earns 8.75, okay, $8.75 per hour, and she works 37 and a half hours. So per week, we know we're multiplying, we can do, I'm going to make this a 9 because that's a 7. I'm also going to move this up to 38 because that's a 5. So 38 times 9, so 2, 7, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34. So she earns about 340, oh no, she earns exact, oh no, we didn't estimate, I'm sorry. She earns about $342 a week. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with Amanda. So if you need to write that down, go ahead and write that down. So we're going to do the same thing with Amanda. So Amanda earns $10.25 per hour, and she's working 30.5 hours. So $10.25 per hour tells us we're multiplying. So here I'm going to make it a 31 because that's a 5. Here this is a 2, so I'm going to go down and make it 10. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 3. A lot of you couldn't do that math in your head, but I like to do it the long way just in case, okay? So about $310 per week. So she makes more, but she works less. All right, so number 19, calculate the exact difference between Kaylin and Amanda's weekly salaries. So for this problem, you need to actually do the math we did earlier, but with the decimals, okay? So I really want you to practice. I want you to practice, but for the sake of time for my video, I know I'm using excuses, right? I'm going to just tell you the answer. So Kaylin earns exactly, so I'm doing 8.75 times 37.5. She earns exactly $328.125. So we want to write that down. And then we see Amanda, so I'm going to do 10.25 times 30.5, if I could actually get that in my calculator, times 30.5. So Amanda earns exactly $312.625. And when you subtract those two, you get $15.50. So in this lesson, you're really practicing how to multiply decimals, how to subtract decimals, and how to estimate decimals. Okay, so if any of those things feels confusing, let me know. I can send you another video, or I can help you by kind of talking you through the problems. All right, so number 20, we're on to new information. So let me erase this. So number 20 says Victoria's printer can print 8.804 pages, 8.804 pages in 1 minute. How many pages will it print in 0.903 minutes? Okay, so this is in 1 minute. How many in this 9.3 minutes? Okay. So if we want to estimate, this should go up to 9. This should go to 1, and 9 times 1 is about, so please use that, about 9 pages. All right, so hopefully that was an easy one. Number 21. So let's talk about this taxi, okay? Let's talk about this taxi. So a taxi charges a flat fee of $4. That means that's a one-time event, $4, plus $2.25 per mile. Okay, so we know as soon as we get in that taxi, we're spending $4. And then every mile we go, we spend another $2.25, another $2.25. Okay, so what we don't know is how many miles that we're going. So I'm just going to show you something 8th grade. And the way this would look in 8th grade is 4 plus 2.25x. And this x is being multiplied to the 2.25. And we make it an x because we don't know how many miles. And we know with PEMDAS, we do multiplication before we add the 4. Okay, so in 8th grade, I call this a starting amount, a one-time event, and I call this a per amount because it almost always has that word per, and it means to multiply. Okay, so just a little tip for 8th grade so that when you're there, you're like, oh, I remember doing this, okay? Either way, so they want to know about how much will it cost to travel 8.7. So you can do the 9 times 2, which is 18, plus the 4, so about $22. Okay, and then if you take the time, which please do it, so pause the video if you need to find the exact amount, it's $23.58. And then we see our reasonableness of our answer. Yeah, we were close. Okay? And sometimes we have to do that in real life. You know, we're getting into a taxi. We don't have or maybe an Uber or a Lyft or something like that. We don't know the exact mileage maybe we're going, and we need to make sure we have enough cash. And we need to kind of quickly come up with that estimate and know, you know, if I know about 22, I'm gonna have about 25 and give myself that space. And it ended up being $23.58. So I'd have been even cutting it short or really close, not short, but really close with my $25. And this is the type of math we do kind of naturally all the time. All right. Number 22. So you're going to multiply each distance driven by the 2.25, add that $4, and that difference is $35.23. Okay? Or not the difference, the total is $35.23. So you're kind of figuring out two problems, but what you don't do is add the $4 both times. Oh, yes, you do. Let me scratch that. I'm sorry. I don't want to restart the video, so ignore what I said. You're actually, because it's two different passengers, they both have to pay the $4. If the one passenger went a certain distance and then a certain distance more, they wouldn't have to pay that $4 twice. But because it's two different passengers, they both pay the $4. So your total is $35.23. All right? I'm going to read to you the rest of the answers. If there's any that you're still stuck on, please let me know. But number 23 is 20.425 miles. Make sure you write the word miles. 24 is Friday. 25 is 14.425 miles. 26 is yes, because Wednesday she rode about 11 miles for 3 hours. That's about 33. And Tuesday she rode about 10 miles for 3 hours, which is about 30. Okay? 27, the error is that 3.48 is closer to 3 and 7.33 is closer to 7. So 3 times 7 would be actually 21, not the 32, because we don't really want to go all the way up to 4 and 8. See how far off our answer ended up being by estimating wrong. 28 is $10,355.42. And 29 is the 22 karat gold statue, and 24.549 ounces. So hopefully you did great. Email me with any questions or problems you have, and I will see you soon.